Welcome, welcome, welcome to MiSpot, where we balance, heal, and activate who we truly are. Okay? All right. So, we're going to be talking about a lot tonight. Um, if you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. You can call me Haki Kiki. And what I like to do for you is to celebrate the moon cycles. Not each single one, but definitely once a week we come together and we study where the moon is, particularly the new moon, first quarter, full moon, and third quarter moons. Um, when I'm recording this, it's actually in between the full moon and the third quarter. But when you see this video, it will be the third quarter moon. I record this a little before the moon, so that you can enjoy it at the opportune time of the moon energy. So what I also want to do for us this evening is to dive a little deeper into astrology. So as we have been studying the moon and celebrating the moon, my intentions are to allow us to use the energy of the moon to, and I'll share with you how I got here. Always been a lover of the moon, just the planet, the earth, like just God's creation, period. But I actually had I guess a situationship, and I realized that someone was using the moon cycles on me. But I'll get into that later or another time. But what I have been learning is that these different phases and cycles, that's one of the things that I've definitely been able to confirm, is the cycles that the cycles of life, our solar system, the cycles of the planets, the energies that they carry, the energies of the constellations, the stars, just all the things that make everything whole, make everything come full circle. I'm learning and realizing, however, that these are very powerful energies, and I've seen karma, I've seen things come back full circle, I've seen things, history repeat itself, I've seen deja vu. Like, I've experienced things where I've confirmed for myself that things come in cycles. And so as I've been studying astrology more, I've learned, or am learning, that a lot of these cycles are just what goes around comes around kind of energy. And so what better way for us to be present? That's the biggest lesson that I've learned from this, is recognizing that there's so much going on in the astral realm, or in astrology, or the astrological sky, that these energies are affecting and impacting all of us in different ways based on who we are and when we were born and the experiences that have shaped us. Okay, so that reminds me that you can't get too caught up on what anyone else is doing, to the point where it stresses you out, because we all have a free will to choose a direction that we want to go in. That is love. Love is a choice. Love gives you freedom. Okay, love does not bind you. And because we all have free will, although we have these cycles, we always have a choice to choose which direction we're going to go when these things present themselves. However, I will add, when we're not present, when we're not fully present, and we are anxious, we're operating too far in the future. And when we are, I guess, resistant, or what's the word? Depressed, we're thinking and operating too much from the past. The goal is, and the gift is, the present moment. So we always have a choice in the present moment on how we choose to show up. And when we are aware of the energies in the cycles that are happening around us, in the planets, and how they affect us personally, it allows us to show up better, not just for ourselves, but also for others. It allows us to truly be present. So I'm saying all that to say that when I recognized how these energies could impact me and what's going on in my life, I realized that I could use the moon energy to either manifest or release. Okay. And these are for the greater good of all, harm to none. These are for, on this side, on this channel, for this collective, we are here to ascend. We are here to grow, to expand. If you are not looking to grow, I am not the girl for you, and you can find another channel. But if you're here for ascension, you realize that your inner world creates your outer world. You realize that you've planted seeds that have started to manifest in your life. Maybe you have learned lessons of karma. Maybe you've learned how to manifest. Maybe you are breaking from generational patterns. Maybe you just want to be better and do better and show up better for yourself, for your children, for your family, for your generation, or for you have a desire. Maybe you've been the black sheep of the family. Maybe you've been the one that's always been a little different, or the one that speaks up or speaks out. Maybe you're the one who, just recognizes that you're resistant to certain things and you are not willing to just play along or go along to get along. You really know who you are and what you're here to do, and you want to fulfill that purpose, and you want to ascend accordingly. Okay, you want to grow, and you have witnessed in your life how being able to ascend or grow has benefited you. It's either made you prosperous, it's brought you more peace. You've learned that when you've made certain decisions, those decisions have allowed you to expand or elevate in life. Okay, that's what we're here to do. And so with that level of awareness comes a certain amount of maturity. And that maturity allows us to understand there's a time for reaping and there's a time for sowing. Okay, there's a time to manifest and there's a time to release. We are mature enough to understand that we don't always get what we want. We would prefer to have what we need, and then the wants come as like the cherry on top or the icing on the cake even. Okay, so let's just go ahead and ground our energy. I asked the archangels to help me find a little turquoise ring that I bought from Sedona. It's been missing for over a month, and I'm hoping it's here in the house, but I haven't found it yet. Okay. So I asked the archangels to help me find my ring and something else I recently lost or misplaced. But just go ahead and ground your energy by taking in a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And continue to breathe in and out. And with every exhale, allow all tension to dissolve by giving yourself a nice body scan from the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. And allow that loving, calming, healing energy to relax you as we take a moment to call in our ancestors of divine love and healing light closest to the sun, our guardian angels in the spirit realm, archangels, ascended masters. We call them in to support us tonight as we ground, heal, and clear our energy, reconnecting ourselves to the earth, feeling her love and support, and the stability that she provides under our feet. Thanking her for always being our source of grounding. And just allow ourselves to release any energy that no longer serves our best and highest good. Any blockages from feeling secure or safe, we release them now to the earth, allowing Mother Earth to absorb this energy and these blockages into her core, her warm red center, to be transmuted, alchemized, and returned to us as love and light, abundance and prosperity, peace and tranquility. Thank you, Mother Earth, once again. Thank you, Holy Spirit, divine ancestors of love and light. We feel safe, secure, fully supported. It is done. All right. Just realized I forgot my tunes. So, hopefully my speaker is still on. Okay. So, we celebrate the third quarter moon. So I'm going to share. So we will ground. Sorry, my ring light went out on me, but we're making it work. I don't know why this is taking forever, but okay. So third quarter moons. Third quarter moons are let me just kind of help us set the tone. So this is a time, you know, as we come out of the full moon where we did a lot of releasing, the full moon kind of gives us, like, it exposes some things for us and allows us to release. It allows us to let go of some things, okay? And as we come out of that energy and we approach the third quarter, this is the time to reevaluate, to start to balance the energy out, and to trust, okay? The other piece, like after the full moon, is the disseminating moon, where you're starting to, like, relax and accept after that full moon, that powerful energy of the full moon where we're releasing. We are, you know, giving gratitude, we are accepting forgiveness, and we are, like, focused on, like, results. After that full moon energy, the disseminating moon comes, where we're relaxing into the releasing, relaxing into the energy of the full moon, which this full moon that just passed was the full moon in Leo. And it was powerful. Very, very powerful. Let me see here. Crypto wasn't... Sorry, I guess we're not going to have any music tonight. Let's see if I can get it to play just on my iPad in the background. So the third quarter moon is that reevaluation, that balancing out and trusting. So we've done the work. Now we're settling into it. Okay. As we, you know, get ready for another cycle, but we're going to stay focused on the present. All right. Let me just give us a little, hopefully this doesn't sound too bad. Okay, I don't know, this is a little bit low. All right, sorry, I don't want to have a whole lot of blank wasted time here, but all right, we'll just put that over there. We'll do better next time. Okay. So that's where we are between the disseminating in the third quarter. Like I said, it will be here when you're listening or watching this. Or these, these messages are also timeless. So when it's meant for you, it's meant for you. It's meant for you to see, excuse me. The other thing about these messages is that they are general. They are not specific or personal. So use your discernment, okay? Discernment means to use your wisdom to judge righteously, all right? Use your wisdom from your experience to understand what resonates for you and what doesn't. Take the meat, throw away the bones, okay? If it doesn't fit, you must have quit, all right? Take what's yours and leave the rest, all right? So what I want to do tonight is talk about what's going on in the sky, all right? What's going on in the sky at the time of this third quarter moon. So we're going to start adding the astrological charts. I'll be sharing more of that in these messages as we move forward. So, all right. When we are using the moon phases as opportunities for healing, for releasing or manifesting, we want to make sure that we're setting intentions, okay? And that's where the moon and where the moon is placed, or what's happening in the sky with the planets as a whole, is allowing us to help set those intentions, okay? And I highly recommend that we all get used to being present, because when we're using our free will to fight against what's happening naturally, we're really fighting against ourselves. We're like sabotaging ourselves, especially if we consider ourselves divine beings and we're here for a purpose. We're here to be an example of love and light, to spread love and light, to be able to help others or to show others a way, a new way. Okay, if that's your goal, if that is what you're here to do, you're here to ascend and grow and be an example, be a leader, then you know that you can use this creation and have dominion over it. We've been told and called to have dominion over the earth. Okay, and so we set our intentions to be in alignment with the energies that are happening around us. It doesn't always mean that it's going to be easy. There are going to be times where we have to put in effort, okay? But then there are times where everything works out great. So I say all that to say, a couple tips is, when we align our intentions with the theme of the phase, okay, the theme of the phase of the moon, or even if it's a planet, because a lot of times the planets definitely carry heavy energy or big energy, and maybe not heavy, but big energy. They are very powerful. When we set our intentions to align with those themes, we have to understand that there are things that come that may not be as comfortable, okay, like eclipses and retrogrades. Okay, but then there are things like trines and grand trines that allow us to have some type of ease, depending on where things fall in our chart and where things are happening in the sky. So that's why I say it can get very complex when it comes to all the different things that are happening, which I'm learning that's why certain degrees are critical when it comes to the planets and their positions or their planetary, I guess, it's called planetary position, is where, well, I'll get into it. So, but one of the tips that I've been doing myself is keeping a journal. I know that I've been getting messages from my guides to journal. I mean, I was trying to do it once a day, but now I'm starting to realize that it may need to happen more than once a day, maybe in the morning and then maybe again at night, where I am reflecting on either my dreams or reflecting on the first thoughts that I have on my mind in the morning. But then I could also be having at the end of the night having like a debrief of what happened during the day. And I'm pretty sure that over the next year, there are going to be quite a bit of confirmations that I'm going to be able to see that are in alignment. For instance, there's Venus. Venus is not maybe at this moment, but Venus, her transit right now and the way that she's orbiting through the planets or through the signs, I guess, is kind of, she's like retrograding back over things that were happening in October. So I believe that her last retrograde, or the last time she was in this position, was in October, like the first week of October 2024. And so it's like, go back to what was going on then. And if you keep a journal and you go back and look at that, like for me, I went back and looked, and lo and behold, what I was writing in my journal at that first week of October is exactly how I'm feeling right now. And it's a little annoying because I feel like, why am I still feeling the same way I felt in October? But that's where those cycles and those shifts and things come in. Some things happen where we can cut things off. And some things happen where it takes a little more time for us to break through certain, I want to say curses, but just cycles in general, whether they're serving us or not serving us. And just to give us some level of relief, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. I'd rather say nothing lasts forever versus everything is temporary, but they're pretty much the same thing. So that gives me some relief, and it allows me to accept change a little bit better, to welcome change, to not be afraid of moving towards the unknown and the unfamiliar territory, to embrace the unknown, and to not cling to what's known or what's familiar or what's comfortable, because oftentimes that allows us to either recreate things that we've already been through, or repeat bad habits. It could also keep us stuck. It can keep our energy stagnant. Okay, so journal. Okay, I highly recommend journaling. I actually bought this book. This is the first year I bought this Aura Line book. It's a astrological planner. So I've been keeping things here when it comes to the signs, or the what's happening in the astrological charts and the sky, in addition to a journal that I just kind of write whatever's on my mind. So I say that, and like I said, stay present. If you need help staying present, I highly recommend grounding. Okay, there is a grounding meditation I have on my channel. It's called the 5-minute Medicine Man guided grounding meditation. It's only 5.5 minutes. Just find a comfortable position. You can sit up, you can lay down, but just allow yourself to be in a comfortable place. I recommend it when you lay down to go to bed. You put on some either headphones or just somewhere where you can really just kind of listen without, a lot of background noise or interruptions, and allow it to ground your energy and clear your energy and allow it to help you fall asleep. So I highly recommend that. I also have meditations on my channel. Right now, there are a few that are probably about 1.5 minutes that you can listen to. There's a few with affirmations for manifesting. There's another short 1.5 minute grounding meditation. There's one for recalling our energy, and there's another one for clearing your energy. That's a playlist that's actually here on my YouTube channel. You can go there, and it's called MiSpot Meditations. You can find all of the meditations that I have right now on there. They're also on my Instagram, where you can go and follow me on Instagram at myspоthealing.com. All right. I provide Reiki services. Reiki is life force energy. If you are interested in just taking your healing practice or your spiritual practice a little step further, once you've You've learned how to ground your energy. You've learned how to center yourself. You've learned how to recall your energy, clear your energy, and you want to just kind of step up. And I'd highly recommend a Reiki session. We can do those virtually. You can email me at booknow@myspot.healing.com. That's MiSpot with an I, healing.com. And we'll go from there. So what else? I also provide services for sound bowls, but that's for more established clients. So after 3 or more sessions, you're considered an established client, and we can do Reiki. We can do a sound bath or sound bowl session in person. But I will be adding at least, hopefully I can get at least 3 minutes of a session on my Instagram soon. So I'd say the next couple weeks or so, you'll be able to see that on my Instagram, and you'll be able to use that to your benefit. And I will do my best to also add it to my YouTube channel. All right. I'm also going to be teaching and sharing a lot of this educational information on the moon cycles and different things that are happening astrologically, just so that we can, like I said, use that to support us in releasing and manifesting, okay, considering what's going on. One of the things, just to kind of allow us to not feel so overwhelmed with all these planets and all these shifts and all these different aspects and things that are happening, it's good for us to really focus on, I'd say, our sun and our rising sign. Your moon sign is great. If you're looking to, if you're looking to like manifest or release when it comes to like emotions or like your home, like things that are kind of like emotional and close to heart, that moon sign is a, what do you call it? The moon sign is like it's your inner world and emotions. Okay, it reflects like your emotional nature, your subconscious patterns, your inner self. So like I said, that kind of comes naturally anyway. So what I've learned is focusing on your sun sign and your rising sign. In order to find your rising sign, you have to know the time that you were born. But those two, your sun is going to represent like your career, and your core personality, your life purpose, your energy source. It can reflect your ego, of course, but it's definitely yourself. Okay, it's a sense of self and a sense of like your creative expression, your willpower, your confidence. Yeah, that's your sun sign. And then your rising sign is your ascendant. That's the sign that you're growing into. That's the sign that you are ascending to, rising to. It is your outer self, your first impression. It represents how others see you, how you approach life. That is how you present yourself to the world, okay? And so I like that because for me, it always gives me like a goal, like it's like a north node for me, okay? So I say when it comes to understanding certain themes or how you can set intentions, I say start with your sun and your rising. Your moon is fine as well. You know, that's very important too. All 3 of them, but people can go as far as your Venus, your North, like you can go on and on. But I know that the sun and the rising appear to be, especially the rising, they appear to be the go-to from what I've been learning. So always look at those first. And then there are other aspects where the planets could be in a certain sign that represents a certain house for you. And I'll get into that a little bit too. But when you are paying attention to what's happening in the skies, and you know where the planets are, and you know where the planets are, what signs the planets are in, and what house those planets represent for you, you can help to use that to set intentions whether it be manifesting or releasing in those certain particular houses using that planet. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Or the moon or the sun. What else? So I'll just keep going. So one of the other things that I want to talk about is we are going to be experiencing 2 eclipses coming up in the month of March. I believe there's one on the 14th. The 13th. There's a Virgo full moon total lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse. And then there is an Aries new moon partial solar eclipse on the 29th. So March 13th and the 29th will be great times. Like even as we are approaching the month of March, like we just moved into Pisces season. And so as we approach the month of March, you can start to think about what you might want to do with this eclipse energy. So of course, a solar eclipse is when the moon comes between the earth and the sun, and then it blocks out, the sun. In certain parts of the earth, you can get like that totality where it completely blocks it out. In some parts, we can see it partially. And then a lunar eclipse is when the earth comes between the sun and the moon, and then the moon gets a shadow cast on it. Okay. And that usually happens on full moons. So like instead of the full moon being like bright with the sun's light shining on it, it ends up gets in between. The earth gets in between the sun and the moon gets like that reflection of like a shadow of the sun. So sometimes it can look like it can have like a what do you call, I guess like a purple, not purple, like a reddish or pinkish kind of like hue to it, because it's like it's reflecting the colors of the atmosphere. Okay, even though it's shadowed, it's more like sometimes it'll show up with like a certain color. Okay, so this lunar eclipse is going to mark a completion, which is what eclipses typically do. So it's going to be in Virgo. So it will be good to find out where Virgo falls in your chart and what house Virgo rules for you. And then you can focus on what you want to complete, what cycles you want to close when it comes to the house of Virgo for you. Okay, and I'll dig into that a little bit more too. All right, so this is a place where, it also reveals hidden truths. So if there are things that you want to shine light on to be exposed, you can use this energy and set the intention to reveal those hidden truths and to have these emotional breakthroughs, okay? It carries the energy of a supercharged full moon. So a lunar eclipse, because it's a full moon, it's going to carry a supercharged full moon energy. So that releasing that we do, this is a good time to release. So you can start thinking about the intentions and the things that you want to set yourself free from now, especially emotionally. Okay, that's the moon energy, represents emotion. It represents like behind the scenes kind of energy, like the hidden truth and things like that. All right. So, and if we're not, it can bring sudden endings, okay? It can bring very deep realizations to us. That's what the eclipses do. So that's coming up in March. And then what's going to be happening here on this third quarter moon going into the weekend is a grand trine. There's a grand trine happening with the water signs. So a trine is when 2 planets are within 120 degrees of each other, and a grand trine is when 3 planets are basically make a triangle. And trines represent a free flow of energy. They represent ease. Okay, it's like a trinity. It's like everything's working together. Everything is equal. It's supported. It has boundaries. It's working for you. Okay, it brings harmony and balance across those energies. They typically happen within the same element. Okay, you get trines like that. 120 degrees happens. If it's happening in water signs and you get it another way, maybe it's in the fire signs. The other way, it's in the air signs. But they typically happen in the same element. So there's going to be a grand trine between I'm trying to do them in order. Hold on. Cancer, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, there's going to be a grand trine that's happening by the weekend. So there will be a lot of ease and balance and harmony when it comes to emotions. Okay, who doesn't want that, right? The last thing we want is a disharmony or imbalance when it comes to emotions, or for things to be emotionally hard. Okay, so look forward to that. You know, it's going to be a time of deep emotional insight, and it's going to be working in your benefit. Okay, we also have some retrogrades happening here. So Pisces season has started. We have a Mars retrograde that's ending on the 23rd of February. What else is happening? I thought Venus was doing something. Okay. Yeah. There's a Venus retrograde in Aries and Pisces until April 12th. I don't know if that's starting. Maybe that's starting on the 28th. I'll get into it some more, but there's a Mars retrograde right now that will end on the 23rd, and Mars is actually in Cancer. Okay, so you can look and see, like, you know, where Cancer falls in your chart. So if Cancer rules your second house, okay, the second house is the house of, what is it? The house of values, like your personal resources, your money, your self-worth. If Cancer rules your second house, then that means that Mars being in Cancer, you're going to, so Mars is a planet of action. Mars is a planet of it has like a fiery, like very driven kind of energy. So Mars being, if Mars being in Cancer, and Cancer ruling, say, your second house, then that means that you're going to have a lot of you're going to be getting the energy to take action towards your personal resources, your money, your self-worth. Like, you're going to have a lot of drive moving towards that energy. It's going to be elevating and amplifying the energy of that house for you. Okay. Cancer, of course, does carry that emotional, nurturing kind of energy as well. So maybe, you know, your second house could be like your where you find value, or your resources, or how you make money could be something that requires you to be nurturing. It could require you to do something that's very that at least requires some level of emotional intelligence. It just depends on how that falls in your chart. But that's just an example. Okay. So I believe Mars is, so it's in retrograde right now. So retrogrades are really just a time for reflection. So it doesn't mean don't fight against the energy. Don't let it get you down. It's really just a time to reflect and reevaluate and review. So right now, if Cancer, Mars being in Cancer in retrograde, And Cancer rules your second house of value, your house of value, personal worth, personal resources, your money, things like that. If that's what it rules for you, you could probably have felt like resistance to some extent, or you may have been sitting back and kind of reevaluating, like, okay, how can I move forward now? What ways do I want to make more money? What ways do I want to elevate my worth, my sense of self, my self-worth? That could be something that you have been reflecting on. And once this energy or this retrograde releases on the 23rd, you'll feel probably that push to move forward. Because right now, that Mars in retrograde is right in the middle of Cancer. So all of the signs, we have 12 signs, they all carry 30 degrees, okay? So when we have a planetary position, so Mars is at 17 degrees in Cancer. So that means it has another 13 degrees to go before it moves into the next sign, okay? And so all the planets, depending on how far away they are from the sun, it kind of, they all have like a different orbit, or that's how long it takes for them to get around the sun, make a complete cycle. So as they move through the signs, depending on how far their orbit is out, they can move through the signs more slowly, or like the planets that are further away, they stay in the signs longer, versus the planets that are closer to Earth, they move through the signs a little bit faster. Okay, so Mars is a planet that actually, let's see, Mars is one of the what we call inner or personal planets. Of course, it's the planets that are closest to the sun. The Mercury, Venus, and Mars are more personal planets, and then we get the social planets, and then we get like the generational outer planets. Okay, so Mars being an inner or personal planet, it takes it 2 years to make a complete cycle around the sun. So it spends about 2 months in each sign. So we're about halfway through Cancer, so we have probably another month before it's completely out of Cancer. Right now it's in retrograde. So when it comes out of retrograde, we'll probably have about another month before it moves into Leo. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So go find, if you're interested in, seeing what house Cancer rules in your chart. If that is something that you want to use this energy of Mars, or you want to take some action and you want to use that energy, then that will be a place you can set intentions, okay? All right, what's next? So I want to talk more about the moon itself, but the moon moves through the signs every 2 or 3 days. Okay. So I believe the moon right now is in Sagittarius. So after it moves out of Sag, it will be in Capricorn in a couple days after that. Then it moves into Aquarius a few days after that. So it just kind of, but by the time we get to the Pisces new moon next week, it'll be, of course, in Pisces, okay? So that's what's happening right now. But like I said, that's not really, with these in-betweens or these first and third quarters or these waning, waxing moon cycles, I want to focus more on what's happening astrologically so that you can use that to set intentions. If you want, you can run through all 12 houses, find out where each planet is for each house, and then set an intention. Intentions turn into affirmations. Affirmations are like small prayers, okay? That's how I look at it. And it's whether it's manifesting or releasing, they're all here to give you what you need so that you can move forward, so you can grow, so you can expand, so you can ascend and fulfill your purpose, okay? All right. The other thing that's important, if you want to kind of narrow it down, you don't want to have this broad list of things, you want to kind of narrow it down, are these critical degrees. Okay, so that 30 degrees that I mentioned at each sign, a circle is 360 degrees. So when you take all 12 signs times 30, you get 360, right? So each sign carries 30 degrees. And if you break each sign into threes, you get like 0 through 10, and then you get like 11 through 20, I guess, or 19, and then you get like 20 through 30 or 20 through 29. Breaking up, I think those called decans or decans. They are breaking up the signs into threes. I won't get in too much into that, but those degrees, okay, those sections, those 3 sections of the sign, those degrees certain degrees are more critical than others. So as you're coming into a sign, the energy is very pure, very strong, very pronounced, because it's brand new. Okay, then as you get towards the middle, you might find maybe a little challenge, or maybe you're starting to actually settle into the energy. And then as it shifts or starts to move into the 3rd decan, it's getting closer to the next sign. So that energy will start to blend in. Okay, I can also share how, depending on the sign itself, so say you are in the Taurus sign, okay? So we break Taurus up into 3 sections, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. The first 10 degrees of that sign is going to be very pure Taurus, like truly pure Taurus energy, right? But then the second part, or the middle of that sign, is going to be a blend of the second sign in that element. So Taurus is an earth sign. So Taurus is first. Then you have Virgo and Capricorn. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Yeah. So if you come into Taurus, the first is going to be pure Taurus. The middle is going to have a blend of Virgo. And then the last 10 degrees, the 3rd section of 10 degrees is going to have more of that Capricorn energy. Like I said, that's a lot of information. However, it kind of can help, when we're looking at placements, just to kind of help to narrow down the degrees and not stressing ourselves out because it's like all these things going on. But it gives us a level of respect for all these things that are going on, and how really being present is really our greatest gift, because there's so much going on outside. There's so much going on inside. Everybody has their own stuff, where it allows us to really be in flow, to really not resist change, because things can come back, things can go, and things can come in, new things can come in, okay? And a lot of times we have to be able to let go to receive, like release to catch, okay? I've shared that before. All right, I've also learned that these different degrees are more critical depending on the sign. So like for the fixed sign, degrees like 0, 13, and 26. Okay, so fixed signs are like, I guess you call them like elements. They're not elements, aspects. Maybe they're aspects. But we have, fixed signs, cardinal signs, and mutable signs. Excuse me. And you get an element of each. You get earth, air, fire, and water under each sign, or under each aspect, I guess. Each sign element under fixed, each sign element under cardinal, and each sign element under mutable. So fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Mutable signs: Gemini, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces are the mutable signs, okay? So depending on those, what do you call them? I'm going to call them aspects, but depending on the aspect of the sign, will determine the degree that's probably more impactful for them. Okay. So mutable signs, you know, the 0 and 29 are very intense for mutable signs. 4, 17, and 26. And some of them are, you know, overlap, of course. And then 14 and 15, or 14 through 15, the middle degrees, are also like energetic fulcrums for mutable signs where you'll feel those shifts. Okay. But the 0 and 29 for most signs are always a critical point, because it's a very new energy. It's a very pure, they call it degree of fate, because it's like you just burst into something new. Okay, so for all the signs, 0 is pretty intense, and 29, of course, is moving into the next, you know, going into the next sign as well. All right, let's see what else. Well, I think that's probably about it. So we could probably, I mean, I thought there was more to talk about. I don't think that my book here, it has Jupiter, Mars. It has to talk about Venus. So Venus is in Aries right now. And I know for a fact that Venus is going to be moving in retrograde here soon. And she's going to be dancing between Pisces and Aries until, I don't know. But that's going to be happening. Venus is also in retrograde. And Venus is retrograding in, like I said, Pisces and Aries. She's kind of bouncing between the two. Let me just kind of go through the planets all together. So first, starting off with Mercury. Mercury is currently, where are you? Right here. Mercury looks like he's in Pisces, okay, at 11 degrees in Pisces. So Mercury transits pretty quickly. He's the fastest. So he spends about a week in each sign, okay? So he'll be shifting soon. And then Venus, like I mentioned, is currently in Aries, but she's going to be retrograding between Pisces and Aries for the next few weeks. Venus spends about 2.5 weeks in each sign, and she retrogrades about every 18 months. Mars, I mentioned, is in Cancer, retrograding. He retrogrades about every 2 years, and he spends about 2 months in each sign. And then Jupiter is in Gemini at 11 degrees, and Jupiter spends about a year in each sign. So Gemini suns, Gemini rising. You're probably feeling really good when it comes to growth and expansion. You get used to it. You've probably been settling into this energy because we're about halfway through. I believe Jupiter will be shifting in June. So in Gemini season is when Jupiter will move into Cancer, June 9th, I believe. Jupiter will shift into Cancer, which will then be probably, most Geminis will probably be your second house. But you're probably feeling really good in your inner being. You're probably feeling really good in yourself, in your identity, maybe your appearance, your first impressions. You're feeling very expansive. You're feeling like you're growing. You feel very solid and secure. And if you don't feel that way, then let's get you in alignment, okay? Let's get you grounded. Let's start to heal some of that energy that is holding you down. And then we reactivate your new self, okay? And depending on what it is that you need to release or to call into your life. It could be very quick, or it could take some time. If it could be very deep and generational, it could take some time to release, but you probably are feeling very expansive. And if you're not, you let me know, okay? But I would love for people to basically let me know how they're feeling. 5454 was on the clock. So that change, you are like, it's like your change is like protected. Like your growth is protected. Like Jupiter is holding it down. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So he carries a very grounded energy, very, very superior, very strong, very masculine energy. Okay. Saturn is, where are you? Saturn is also in Pisces at 19 degrees. So Saturn spends about 2.5 years in a sign. And at 19 degrees, you know, we're pushing towards the third quarter, if you the last third. I can't say quarter, but that third section, that last third of Pisces before Saturn moves into Aries. So if you're a Pisces sun or rising, you could be feeling that energy of Saturn. Saturn is definitely a planet of karma. But it, you know, it can represent good karma, you know, depending on the seeds that we've planted before. Okay. It takes Saturn 29.5 years to complete a cycle around the sun. So that's why Saturn spends a good amount of time in each sign. So that's one of those energies. Saturn is that planet that just says to me, what goes around comes around. That's what it says to me. Okay, so as a Pisces sun or rising, you could just kind of be feeling, you know, the benefits of the seeds that you've planted. If you're not feeling the benefits of seeds, or you feel very frustrated, you know, whether it be in your house of self, your identity, or just any part of you, that's also a call to get in alignment, to get grounded, to heal some things, release some things. I just heard like what was that? Like, I guess stop resisting, or basically like go with it. Like, I'm losing it. It's like, I heard like stop resisting. Stop resisting. It's an energy of like, it gives me fear. Like it's like it's something is being given to you that you're rejecting. That maybe it's like a rejection. It's definitely like either resisting or rejecting. It's like stop resisting, stop rejecting, like go with it. That's kind of the energy I'm getting from that for some reason. Okay. Uranus. Where are you? Uranus. So Uranus is in Taurus at 23 degrees. Okay. It has spent 7 years there. Well, it's going to be there. I'm sorry. It spends 7 years per sign. It's probably been in Taurus for a little while because it's at 23 degrees. So it might be there another year, maybe. Okay. Neptune is also in Pisces. There's a lot going on in Aries and Pisces. So as we approach this new year, as we Pisces is the end of the zodiac year. Aries will be that new year, fresh energy coming in. And right now, there's a lot of energy, a lot of planets, even the North Node, the Sun, Chiron are all in Pisces and Aries right now. A lot going on. Mostly in Pisces. A lot of the stuff is in Pisces, but a lot is also in Aries. What's this? What's that? I don't know what that is. Hold on. There's a square, there's a circle here with an X. I don't know what that is. It's at 2 degrees in Aries. What is that? I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing me either. Oh well. Okay. Neptune, I said, is in Taurus, and then Pluto, we all know, is in Aquarius for the rest of our lives. Okay. Pluto spends about 12 to 31 years in each sign, depending on the orbit. Okay. If the orbit is further out, he'll probably spend a little bit longer time versus whether he's a little bit closer to the sun, because everything's not perfectly circular as far as orbits go. There's like tilts and things, you know. So anyway, so Pluto's in Aquarius and he's at 2 degrees. So he just got there. He has a long way to go. All right. So that's where the planets are right now. So, you can, see where I've shared where they are, what signs they're in. Go see what those signs, what houses those signs represent for you. And you can, don't get too stressed out. I say pay attention to the signs that are at 0 degrees, or the planets that are at 0 degrees coming into a new sign, and the ones that are at 29 degrees. So they're kind of like at the tail end of a sign. And then the in-betweens will be based on like your, 26 degrees could be important for both mutable and fixed. That's it. I don't even want to. Mutable signs typically are more adaptable and more welcoming to change. So they tend to be able to feel energy at these middle degrees, and like 4, 17, 26. 26 is probably significant it's also significant from fixed signs, but mutables, because of that mutable energy, you can feel this energy, you can feel these shifts or this energy at degrees that other signs may not be able to feel as intensely. Okay, I think we're done with that. We talked about the moon. We talked about Chiron and all those folks, North Node, South Node, Lilith. Those are all great as well. I'll leave those up to you. You can go find, a chart that shows, those energies. I've shared a lot of this stuff already on my Instagram, but at least as far as like meditations or affirmations on how to use these energies when necessary, when needed. All right, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I think I actually covered everything I wanted to cover. Let's see. So like I said, there is a grand water trine happening, and emotionally, especially with Venus between Aries and Pisces retrograding, you welcome the releasing of negative emotions, repressed emotions, suppressed emotions, because they manifest physically. Heart blockages, slowing the heart down, that kind of thing. I'm not a doctor, but I know that energy is strong and powerful, and holding on to heavy energy can manifest into sickness. Okay. All right, I'm done with that. That was great. I thought that was going to be like crazy hard, but it actually wasn't too bad. So we're going to go to our handy dandy Moonology deck. Holy Spirit, ancestors of love, divine and healing light, please protect us as we download the messages for our best and highest good. Anything that's not for our best and highest good, please close, shut, lock, and block that door. In the name above all names, amen. All right, Spirit, what's... The end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. The end of a tough cycle approaches. New moon, full moon in Capricorn. Just start with Capricorn. Okay. Your hard work is paying off. Oh no, hold on. That's wrong. Ha! That's the new moon. Full moon. Where is this all from? Virgo, Scorpio. Here we go. Full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay at your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Attune to the moon. Release control and trust the universe. Additional meanings for this card. A professional project may be ending now. Admit if you have been overly hard-headed or hard-nosed. Find a balance between your personal and private lives. It's time to stop fearing the worst. The teaching. The full moon in Capricorn has a very strong work ethic and energy, and will more than likely come up when you're asking a professional question. If your question is about another matter, it will serve as a much needed reminder to move through any feelings of hopelessness you may have been feeling about your situation. And this applies no matter when you draw the card. Making a plan is a far better use of your time. We were kind of touching on that earlier about like making a plan, when it comes to like career, like the energy in the sky right now is very like career driven, or like focusing on your value, your worth. Not saying that your worth is in your career, but recognizing like your purpose, what you are called to do, which allows us to balance that heart and mind, because we're able to go towards our passion, but then we're also able to work our minds intelligently and make money off of our passion, like finding your purpose. Do we want to pull something else? Let's do a soul's journey. Haven't done that in a while, and I like these cards, and then we'll wrap it up. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. You are good enough, okay? I think we were also talking to Pisces with that Saturn energy. Saturn, Mercury, the Sun, Neptune. Did I talk about Neptune? I think I may have skipped Neptune. But Neptune is also in Pisces. Okay, Spirit, what we got? That's a lot. We got discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So that's a reminder. Okay. Discipline. Imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Very creative driven. That's that sun energy. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. So that's a reminder. If you're living in the past, if you're feeling down and out, depressed, envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. No such thing as a life that's better than yours, okay? Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So there's some worry. Wow. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So these are things that could be released under this eclipse. Bottom of the deck, freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So you're being reminded that you're good enough. The tough cycle is over. Step into your power. Stop resisting. Stop rejecting. Allow. Be free flowing. Be present. Okay? Release depression and anxiety. Fear of the past repeating itself or fear of failure in the future. Release that. Discipline, imagination, regret, envy, fear, and worry. This is Pisces energy right here. Okay? That dreamy kind of, and a low vibrational Pisces can definitely be delusional or like not living in reality. Okay? But to me, it seems like it's fear-based. So this is a message for Pisces. Pisces, we just moved into Pisces season. We just came out of this full moon in Leo. We're moving into a new moon in Pisces. I think my Pisces are feeling it right now. So go towards your freedom, Pisces. Free yourself, okay? Release the worry, release the fear, release any jealousy or envious spirits, release regret, become more disciplined. Okay? Let's read the discipline card. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful message. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Your soul has a goal, but it has also chosen to incarnate into a world of distractions. Earth is a dimension of obstacles and challenges, but you have been given discipline as your birthright. It is time to remind yourself what your soul has come back to this planet to learn. This is a great opportunity to reevaluate your priorities and go about your daily tasks with a new system of managing your life. Instead of being the passive recipient of whatever comes your way. Distractions can easily get us off the work of our soul. And if we give into this apathetic impulse, we can miss many well-placed and pre-planned teachings needed for our inherent growth. Learn that the satisfaction of a task completed is more emotionally rewarding than a task delayed. That's the confirmation of what we were talking about. So you have to be aware of the distractions by being present. Okay? Earth is a dimension of obstacles and challenges, but they are here to teach you to grow. We've been given discipline as a birthright. So you have the power to take dominion. You have a choice. So stop choosing against yourself. That's what it is. It's like you're going against yourself. You're self-sabotaging. It's time to remind yourself what your soul has come back to this planet to learn. Reevaluate. That's what this moon is for, reevaluation. Reevaluate your priorities and go about your daily tasks with a new system of managing your life. Instead of being a passive recipient, that's that victim mentality. That's that stuck in the past. That's that inner child healing. I also have a guided meditation for inner child healing on my Instagram. I'll work on getting that on my YouTube as well as underneath the MiSpot meditations playlist. Okay? Distractions can easily get us off the work of our soul. You're here to do soul work. If you're not here to do soul work, you're on the wrong channel. All right? So stop having this apathetic impulse. Oh my gosh. Stop going against yourself. Stop being impulsive, operating from your emotions, and just doing things to prove that you don't care, which is you're denying your own heart. Balance. Life is about balance. Okay? When we do that, we can miss many well-placed and pre-planned teachings needed for our inherent growth. So if you are not feeling the growth, you're not feeling that Saturn energy is bringing you good rewards, you're not reaping a harvest, then there's some work to be done, because the seeds that you planted are probably not good seeds. All right. Learn that the satisfaction of a task completed is more emotionally rewarding than a task delayed. Listen, thinking that we have time is one of the most arrogant things that we can do, because you do not know the time or the day. Okay. So all you got is the present. All right. Always go within so you never go without. Anything you need to know about me will be in the description box. I want to also offer love readings to those who resonate and put a comment in the drop a comment down. We can put you can put a Pisces emoji, or you can put some purple heart emojis, and I will pick someone and reach out, and we will do a love message with all this emotional energy running around in the atmosphere as Venus comes out of her retrograde this weekend. So I think I said it already, but God loves you, but I love you, but God loves you more. And I'll see you later. Good night.